Deshaun Watson is looking like he's back with Quincy, and he's out here moving around. He said he got to come back to Berea, do some extra little work. Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com had a quote. It says, locked in a two-way duel with Shedeur Sanders that will resume July 29th. Watson returned to the CrossCountry Mortgage Campus in Berea this week to train with his private physical therapist, Bill Voltaire, and throw with personal quarterback coach Quincy Avery. Despite the Browns being in the midst of a 7-week summer break, Watson opted to spend one of his off weeks here working on some of the things he learned during the spring ball and throwing to some local receivers. Jason, when you see Deshaun Watson, it looks like he's going to come back, do some work here in Berea. Would that signify that he thinks that the competition is a little closer than it once was, and he got to get locked in and ready to go?
I think he looks at this as probably the last chance of his career. So whether you want to talk about the competition with Shedeur or just the fact that this could be is another team signing Deshaun Watson next year to a contract?
I mean, if he doesn't play well,
I don't see. No, this is it. So I get it. Like, yeah, it's a close competition with Shedeur. So you want, I just think that he's looking at this as like, this is his last chance, period. I think had the gap been wider, had he already been named the starter, I think probably the same thing would have happened, that he's just looking at this as this is his last shot. I mean, he throws a lot in the summer. We've seen all the Instagram videos he'll take receivers to Florida or wherever it is. But by coming here to the facility, now you're around the coaches and, you know, it's more internal now.
Put it this way, Jason. I mean, this guy's made all this money. He's done nothing for the Browns outside of played maybe one good half of football. If he can't beat out two essentially rookies who are not high draft picks, his career's over.
Yeah.
Who's going to sign this guy if you can't beat out Shedeur or Gabriel? I mean, and then, by the way, if he does and he just plays mediocre, still not getting a chance next year.
Yeah. There's just too much. He's got more baggage than Delta at this point. So I don't know what team would look at this and say, yeah, we want to take a shot for what? This is it. And I think he realizes that.
Yeah, I think when you look at it, the reality is when you come off two Achilles surgeries, right? And you've had multiple surgeries. He had the ACL, then he had the shoulder. It's been so long since he's played at that level. It starts to wear on you mentally, because it's not the fact that, you know, some people can say, hey, you either can play or you can't play. It's you need to look at yourself and think, can I still play, right? Mm-hmm. Put it to you like Dustin.
Yeah.
At one point in time, and I talked to Tyvis about this, when you're near the end or you're near a point where you're looking around, the calls aren't coming in as frequently, you may have some injuries here or there, there's a moment where you talk to yourself and say, all right, this might not be in the cards. I might need to start thinking of something else. Did that moment ever hit you where it was like?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm probably not the one to ask this question to, because my situation was a little bit different.
Right.
You know, like I played for 4 years and didn't feel like I was ready to retire, but I was basically told I was ready to retire because I didn't get the opportunities.
Right.
And, you know, I had a baby on the way, and like the little money I had made, I was burning through it because I wasn't making any money, because I'm just trying to work out and spend basically went a year with no income. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, I need to get a job.
Right.
Because I got to support a family.
Right.
If I had all the money in the world, I would have probably just kept trying at least for a couple of years to get back in.
It's so crazy that you said it actually does apply, because what Jason just said, it kind of reminds you of it. It's like, after this year, he's auditioning for his next role for somebody else.
Yeah.
And usually they don't tell you, hey, you go out on your own terms. They retire you.
The league retires you more often than not.
I mean, I sort of was retired by the league, you know.
Right.
I mean, if I could have given it another year, maybe I'd have got into a camp the following season, but I wasn't willing to wait that long.
Right.
I couldn't.
So to me, I think the crazy part about it is you hear Cam Newton talk about it a little bit from his perspective, where he was like, he always kept thinking that call will come, and then it didn't come. and he had to be okay with it. For Deshaun Watson, I think for him, it's like, I better put everything I got into this camp. And at least if you put everything that you have into this particular camp, you can look at yourself and say, I gave it a shot. I put everything, I came back, I worked out, I was in a competition. And if after this move doesn't happen, like you said, he's got enough money to print. Right. But at the end of the day, I think he's thinking along those terms to make the best out of his situation.
Even if he doesn't, if Shedeur wins the job, he still has to be ready. You know, like he's still the Browns play more than one quarterback pretty much every year. So regardless of who wins the competition at the start, this is more than likely, I believe, probably his last opportunity in the NFL.
For sure. And he's got to stay ready, though. I mean, like, there's no doubt. And you're right, he'll play. I mean, no quarterback on this roster this year is going to play every single game. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
You know, I think it's an irony to it because we talked about it here a couple of years ago. We had a guy like Joe Flacco, and he was written off. He was done. He was at the crib. Like,
he's on the couch.
He was on the couch. And since he came back from being off the couch, I believe he's still on the roster somewhere, right?
Oh yeah.
Flacco, like,
he's in
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy. Like, so I've never seen anybody come from being on the couch to come in to make a playoff run to then losing his starting role and then throwing for like 400 the next week.
Yep.
And it's still on the roster. So if you Deshaun Watson, you like, listen, I'm going to go with I'm going to hope anything is possible. And you never know when your number is called. One thing you will say is the Browns have traditionally played 3 or 4 quarterbacks. And if he does want to stick around, we talked about it with Shedeur Sanders. And if he didn't win the starting role, could he become a backup, or would he have the opportunity to become a backup? Do you think that Deshaun Watson is his image rehabilitated enough where if he does play serviceable, somebody would maybe think of him as a backup?
His image, I think, has been, I wouldn't say it's repaired, but I think it's been enough time where if he played exceptional, it would be pushed to the back. It wouldn't be the number one thing people talk about if he played well. But I'm talking, he has to play really well. Like, he would have to be like a top 10 type of quarterback for people to then, kind of forget about everything and allow him to get a contract with somebody else that would be a high level, like, starter type of money.
Yeah.
He'd have to play beyond exceptional, I think.
To be a backup.
No, to be a backup, I don't think he'll get, no. I mean, I don't think anybody would sign him to be a backup, no matter what, because this guy's been a starter. He's got all the money in the world. And if he's an average starter, why are we signing him to be a backup when you've got all these other guys out there like a Flacco, Josh Johnson's still on the roster in Cincinnati too. And he's played for 17 teams.
Forever. He's the Dennis Schroeder of NFL.
I mean, they'd call Chase Daniel before they called Deshaun Watson to be a backup.
Yeah, this is why this competition is fascinating, because there's so many storylines. I'm actually interested in seeing what he looks like in a football game, and I think that's why I'm all for the competition, because it's one thing to speculate, it's another thing to see it. And I think when we see it, like Tyvis says, when we see it, we'll know it.